What is up, YouTube? Hey, full interview, big homie CC and Maverick. Full interview. Hey, I've been waiting to do another big homie CC, man. There's a lot of rumors out there that's saying that big homie CC is fake. That's a big dude to be calling him fake. He had a beef going on with the Whack 100 and the Loose Cannon. Loose Cannon is now in jail, but Whack 100 is not in jail. Now, how did that happen? I thought they was boys. Come find out Whack 100, who talked too much, who's still on the phone, in jail, still talking too much, is a ride or die gangster for real, man. Everybody else that got locked up with them, there's only 3 of them still in jail, right? God dang, yo. I don't see how you can embrace or like this street life where the police is just either you gonna die, which I don't want to do, or you're gonna be in jail, which I'm allergic to. Hey, so anyway, man, check this out. Big homie CC and Maverick approaches breakdown pyramids of Jeezy, moon landing, alien conspiracy, and more. Okay. Oh my gracious. So I'm on the wrong subject. They talking about big homie CC is a very spiritual dude, and he believes in a lot of different things that I don't. I'm the type of person, if I don't see it, I can't believe it. But y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Maybe I'm Uncle Mike about to learn something. Let's check it out.
The pyramids of Giza. They found the pyramids of Giza.
The Giza.
They found structures, like he said, bigger than the Eiffel Tower, bigger than the World Trade Center, bigger than any other structure. Burj Khalifa, the highest building in the world. It's taller than that, by far. It goes down 1.5 miles long, these structures that they found.
Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted, y'all. I believe that it's a greater power out there, period. Whether it be God, people from outer space. I believe that this whole world of cycling is repeating itself. Then the world ends. And then next thing you know, we start all over. And our technology builds up slowly but surely. And we in the middle of the buildup, right? When these robots take over, y'all need to go look at iRobot again, the movie. Because we gonna get some technology, and next thing you know, our next technology will be strength, power, to be something that can lift up a building. I'm talking about that type of power. Right now we are in the mechanical human beings, artificial intelligence, but we haven't hit on, and this is all stuff that I learned through watching this crap, man. Strength, something that can lift up a truck, 18-wheeler by itself. We don't have equipment like that. I mean, you can get a crane out here and all that type of stuff, but I'm talking about something like us lifting up a big old, that type of thing. Anyway, here we go, man. Here we go. Real life street stars, baby.
Let's get to it. Man, we got to talk about the Maverick approach. As the Maverick approaches. As the Maverick approaches.
Y'all been asking for this.
We've been
asking for this.
Yeah, again.
Mama, there goes that man.
This is probably one of the most. Get your mic on, because this might be one of the most important conversations of 2025 right now. We're about to get to it.
All right.
Maverick, if you don't mind, for the people at home and for those that's on the channel that is new to you, go ahead and reintroduce yourself. Tell them what you do, the platform you're on.
Yeah, so Maverick Approach, I've been doing content for about 2 years now, and I'm really behind the scenes. I'm a businessman, entrepreneur, and whatnot, but I got into this for that same reason you just said. There's a shift happening. Okay.
Here we go.
All the goofies are leaving and the real ones are coming in. I expose a lot of shit. This is why the CIA wants to hire me right now. And I'll tell you about that.
And I've seen proof of this. I got invited with him. You know,
And this is why they call me, see, we call it conspiracy theories, right?
Right.
I'm a coincidence specialist.
For sure.
Coincidence specialist, I like that.
For sure.
Because there's a lot of fucking coincidences lately. And this is what BH does. This is what I do. So we got to connect the dots for people.
All right.
So that's what I do.
Let's get right to it. And I'm going to let, you know, we probably, everybody got questions. Everybody got questions. But this thing was real. Like, I'm just like, it's on TV, everything. Because I watched a video today that I always thought the moon landing was real. Like, I'm just like, it's on TV. They land on the moon. I mean, hell, there's satellites. I used to argue with guys. Satellites exist. Rocket ships. I mean, we live in Texas. NASA's right down the road on 45.
Right.
I've seen rocket ships go into the sky.
Right.
Of course, we all remember Sally Jesse, Sally Ride, all that.
Right.
Columbia, we know all that. So I'm like, well, they landed on the moon back in the 60s. Then someone broke down like, bruh, there's a camera already there. Like,
and how did they get the footage back?
How did they get the footage back, bro? How did they get a rope? I mean, they had so many questions, which I guess I never looked at it.
So they said that he was the first man, Neil Armstrong was the first man to step out on the moon. Where did the camera come from? So he wasn't the first one, right?
Oh my God, wait a minute. I know what they talking about, man, because I remember watching, y'all know Uncle Mike 58, right? I'm an old head. I'm good. Next month I'll be 59, and I'm proud of it. I remember one giant step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Something like that. All this stuff. And when he stepped out there, you're right. It was a camera out there. So he wasn't the first man on the moon. So what, he went out there first and set the camera up and went back in so he could film himself coming out? Think about that.
How did they get the footage back? In that little tinfoil can that they came in, you mean to tell me I got more power in my phone, in this phone right here, than that whole entire operation?
Come on.
Is that what you're telling me?
And they haven't done it again.
And they haven't done it again.
And they're actually trying. I'm like,
I always tell people this. We went to the moon. They just didn't show the proper footage.
Have you ever seen that movie, Fly Me to the Moon?
I started it, didn't finish it, but it's definitely, I need to watch it.
They always show you in the movies. I always say that. So when it comes to movies, it's propaganda, okay? CIA is involved. The DOD has a film department called the Entertainment Media Fund at the Pentagon. They work closely with Hollywood, with script writers, producers, to depict things that take things out of movies or put into movies. So they use media, movies, music, and we'll touch on, what's going on with, the podcast sector and all that, because all that has been infiltrated by the FBI and CIA for sure.
Yes.
Okay, so
a guy named Richard Doty, and Richard Doty was a person who would take information to all of the news, every news outlet, deliberately giving them false information. So we got looking at Richard Doty.
Okay,
and you're going back to the movie Fly Me to the Moon, they're showing you without telling you, right? So they were taping a fake version while still trying to get to the moon for real. BH showed me a video of when they came back and had a press conference, and you could see it on their faces. They saw something that they didn't like.
And the press conference was the entire staff of astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, everybody who went and was a part of it. They're at the press conference and they all look very dejected.
That's because they faked it. And the real mission, they saw something. Somebody may have been there. I mean, BH, you already got some information on the moon. What's really on the moon?
Please. What's on the dark side?
Can we hold on? Can we talk about that? Because last time you told me, old boy who told you he ain't here no more.
Nope. And I said this in my initial No Jumper interview. Sergeant Carl Wolf, when he came to us for security, we turned the job down because it was just above our pay grade. A lot of weird things started happening. Cars getting randomly searched. My car getting told I'm going to go get it from impound and giving it back to me for free. None of the tickets they was giving me was showing up in no system. Sergeant Carl Wolf ended up going to go testify in front of Congress. He's currently deceased right now. He was jogging on a trail. A car veers off, runs him over, kills him. Nobody's ever arrested for it.
That's funny. Every time somebody gets killed by accident is by a car.
We just seen Angie Stone go.
And she's the only person out of 10 people who dies?
Wow.
And she just exposed UMG for stealing all her royalties?
Wow, y'all.
So is it a transformer up there? No, I'm just.
I'll let him answer
that. Big Chopper City made an interesting. He had some interesting insight. He said, he asked us, did we believe in aliens? We said yes. He was like, have you ever wondered why we're trying to leave Earth?
I feel like,
go ahead.
I feel like really, this is a project and we can't leave.
He believes that we are the aliens.
Okay. So
that was
pyramids you just talking about.
Right. And he's like, don't you ever wonder why we're trying to leave Earth and nobody's trying to get to the bottom of the ocean?
Exactly. And why is it that, think about this. So the person who created the CIA, or not the CIA, the NASA, one of the leading scientists from Germany that they imported from Nazi Germany, on his gravestone is a Bible verse that says, behold God's handiwork in the firmament. Yeah. So that's what people were saying, that the firmament, why would the director of NASA have that on his gravestone? So even when you think about the firmament, it's supposed to be a glass dome, right? Mm-hmm. What is a rainbow? It's a prism. Mm-hmm. So when light reflects off a mirror, what does it do? It emulates whatever it's reflecting off of. So why is it a rainbow?
The one guy that always is on Joe Rogan says it's because Earth is a sphere. That's why it creates a rainbow.
Could be. I mean, I think that.
And I keep forgetting, he's a genius black man, but I just can't remember his name at the moment.
You talking about Neil?
Yeah, okay, yeah, Neil.
deGrasse Tyson? Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is compromised.
I think it's compromised too.
Oh, wow.
He's like a new Bill Nye, and Bill Nye is compromised because he got the Medal of Honor from Joe Biden and all those collective people that got the Medal of Honor as well.
For people who don't understand what compromise is, what does that mean?
Compromise is a term that you use with somebody who is acting as like a double agent, like somebody who's working for this person but also working for this person.
I'm 22.
the agent Grand Mason,
Agent
22.
Smith.
So you know the thing is, right? Admiral Tim Gallaudet, who's a Rear Admiral, 3 stars in the U.S. Navy, his job was to map certain areas of the ocean. They detected that things they seen flying in the sky were coming directly from a location around the Catalina Islands on the ocean floor. He makes a presentation to his superior saying they're tracking these anomalous objects from the ocean floor up to outer space and back. Okay. Somebody else is occupying our moon that is not human intelligence. Government comes out and they say, what a guy from Lockheed Martin says, we have the technology to take ET home, but we don't go. Linda Moulton Howe has a book called The Alien Harvest, where she documented cattle mutilations over a 15-year period. Luis Elizondo has a book called Imminent. In this book, he shows implants that were removed from human beings. The isotopes and the metals in these implants don't exist anywhere on Earth. Dr. Roger Lear, rest in peace, who passed from a heart attack, has a book called The Alien Implant. Mm-hmm. They're removing implants from people's bodies that are made from metals not found on Earth that are sending signals off the planet to a satellite that's not made by human beings.
Wow.
This is all documented, proven to be facts. They say if you want to hide something, you put it in the book.
And then what did Neil say when he said they landed on the moon? What did he say when they landed?
He said we were shooed away from the moon.
And it rang like a bell.
He said when they landed, it rang like a bell. And he said they were shooed. Well, Buzz Aldrin said they were shooed away from the moon. He said when they landed, it rang like a bell for hours.
It means it's hollow.
Buddhist monks have a story from 12,000 years ago where there was no moon in the sky, and they described when it was brought here by a dragon.
Now, what does that sound like? I said the movies, right? So there's a little movie called Star Wars. In the movie Star Wars, what did they construct? The Death Star that looked like a moon. So
this is crazy.
Could it be that they constructed the moon and brought it here from somewhere else?
Think about it. It's in a perfect place.
Yeah.
You gotta
hold on.
You gotta look at this joint, man.
You talk about the firmament.
You gotta look at this joint and do a little bit of researching on this stuff, man, because I got my eyes open when they started doing this Area 51 type stuff, man. And then you got Will Smith was in Independence Day. And when that movie came out, they said, dude, the government got, real talk, the government got some stuff from outer space, man, that they are analyzing, trying to figure it out. And then people start saying UFOs, unidentified. Man, this is bull. Like, everybody think it's bull, but hey, fucking something is out there, y'all. We can't be the only ones. There are galaxies. If you keep going, if you just go up and keep going, we don't have the machines to keep going and going and going. And you know what I believe? I'm going to tell y'all what Uncle Mike really believes. I believe that they got the power and the technology to come to us. But they looking at us like, these motherfuckers, they destroy themselves. They destroy their planet. They destroy each other. They don't even have the technology we have. And they destroy each. So if we go there, we already seen what they did to some things that we accidentally dropped or gave them. They probably more like God. They probably flawless. And they probably dropped us over here and said, let's throw them this and see what they do. They done ate it up. They looking at us like an animal. You know, if you drop a cat in a den, and then they just, and they all eat it up. And we looking like, God, nobody is going to take this cat or take this unusual animal and pet it and try to take care of it and raise it and teach it some stuff. They don't do that. They animals. And we sit there and look, and we like that shit. Yeah. So why do it that way? Because that's what we do. All we do is eat up and hurt people. I bet you any amount of money they can come up to us and be like, we are here to help. And I guarantee you we throw the first punch. We shoot the first shot. Guarantee you that. We're here to help. We learned your language. We're not here to, we come in peace. Oh yeah, well we need to take you and we need to break you down and cut you open and see how you work. Why? We don't want to do that to you. That's why they ain't coming. That's why they ain't coming here. I think they've been here and said, man, these motherfuckers crazy. They hate each other because some of them are darker than others and some of them are lighter than others. For real? They hate each other because of that? Why? I don't know, but that's how they do. They kill each other for no reason. Well, they think it's a reason. Yeah, man.
Star Wars. In the movie Star Wars, what did they construct? The Death Star that looked like a moon. So could it be that they constructed a moon and brought it here from somewhere else?
Think about it. It's in the perfect place.
So hold on, because we talk about the firmament. We have 607 Uncle on here. He mentioned the firmament. He also mentioned there's a wall in Alaska you can't get past. So if we are in a dome, then
For some water.
how is it that they can bring a moon or build a moon and put it up? Or is it just inside the dome with us?
Bingo.
Okay.
You think the moon is 250,000 miles away when we see the encrustments on it?
Right.
You can see it with the naked eye. It's 250,000 miles away?
What about the sun then?
Well, they're saying the sun is a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So nobody can directly stare into the sun.
Okay.
It'll burn your retina.
Yeah, to burn your retina.
So how do we know when we're basing off the physics and laws that they're telling us? They're setting the stage for us. They're telling us
Facts.
shit and we're just believing it.
Facts.
But then, what does that make black people if we can feed off the sun and become more powerful?
Okay, going back to the movies, who does that sound like?
Superman.
Superman.
So are we Superman? Are we really from this planet? I don't want to go too deep out there.
Well, no. Here we go. Hold on. So, okay. So here you go. What did they just find? The pyramids of Giza.
Mm-hmm.
They found structures, like he said, bigger than the Eiffel Tower, bigger than the World Trade Center, bigger than any other structure. Burj Khalifa, the highest building in the world. It's taller than that, by far. It goes down 1.5 miles long, these structures that they found. They use a new technology called ERT, which is a new technology that they can scan the earth using frequencies and vibrations that gives you a exact image of what's happening. Now, these structures have coils around them, okay, that go all the way down. So they don't know what it is. They don't know if it's some type of power source or it could be stairs. Either way, I made the parallel of this. When you're talking about structures, you're talking about ancient civilizations. This is far more advanced than we think. Now, when you're talking pyramids, there's also pyramids in East St. Louis that called monk mounds. This is in East St. Louis, Illinois.
Okay.
Now, this is 1300, 1400 AD, okay? And this civilization is called Chokia. And this civilization is near the Mississippi River. What other famous river in Africa is near pyramids as well?
Oh, yeah, that now.
Oh, the Nile River. So what are we talking about? Are we talking about Africa being not just one continent? Are we talking about times of Mansa Musa where we dominated the earth at that time? Because there's pyramids all around the world. So these are hydroelectric conductors. This is why they're near water.
Talk to me.
So we're talking about an advanced civilization that we don't know where they came from or, you know.
So let me ask before I ask the next question. How often do y'all disagree or agree with each other?
That's a good question.
Great question.
We very rarely.
Shaq and Kobe. That's what they call us.
They call us Shaq
I'm
and
throwing
Kobe.
it off the backboard. He's catching it.
Yeah.
For sure.
We're getting the rings.
Yeah, so this happened completely organically, like me and Maverick coming together like this. It's not often that I don't think we ever really disagreed.
No.
Yeah.
Because once you got your 10,000 hours put into this topic, there are a bunch of unfamiliar truths that you independently come upon, pause, and then as you begin to put the pieces together, you're like, wait a second, you figured that out too.
Yeah.
Right. Because here's a very, very critical detail. there are pyramids on Mars.
Let's go.
Elon Musk recently posted a square structure that has been captured by satellite images on Mars. He says we need to send astronauts to go investigate. So 2028, those Tesla robots are going to be on a starship to go investigate that. Luis Elizondo said in his book, Imminent, imagine if you find a 747 plane inside of a pyramid. Bob Lazar is the gentleman who has been viral for years for working at Area 51, for exposing certain things about UFO technology, which is proven to be facts. He said the first crafts that they found were archaeological finds. Mm-hmm. And I asked people, like, how is it possible that the same type of technology is seen in the sky 2,000 years ago on cave paintings is still being seen today? So it gives more credence to the fact that when I hear people say firmament, to me, that means a created place, like a science lab, like a place where we're going to put all of these beings here and observe and watch. And Fast has said, why is nobody looking at the bottom of the ocean? I know a guy who is very close to the Obama administration, right? And he says some of the things he learned made him not want to live anymore. There's a Cosmic Kev interview with a guy who has family in the CIA said his exact same words. He said if people knew what existed at the bottom of the ocean, they want to kill themselves. They wouldn't want to be alive anymore. What could that be?
Damn.
Right.
You got that right.
What could that be? Only 5% of the ocean has been mapped.
Correct. So let me ask this because
I have a that brings me to another interesting question. There was one story there was a young lady that was born blind. Her father was an optician. He created her some special glass. There's this Instagram page where they just give you a bunch of crazy ass facts. It's called Zach something, Zach Films. He gives you a bunch of crazy ass facts.
Okay.
There were some glasses that were her father made for her daughter. When she put them on, what she saw was the world engulfed by a monster.
She saw what? Damn, dude.
And it was feeding on.
Come on, man. Soon as you got interesting, your mic goes out and stuff. You know, I'm a sound technician, man, so sound is everything to me. Listen to this.
Come on.
What's this?
What she saw was the world engulfed by a monstrous figure. And it was feeding on every living. And we're just the earth is basically just the organism inside of this monster's mouth. And it's feeding, like it was the ocean, it was everything. And it was just feeding on the planet. She said the vision was so horrifying. Not only did she take the goggles off, she ripped her own eyes out of her sight.
Damn.
Sheesh.
I think I heard that before.
That's interesting.
I just when you said it made me think that when I heard the story when you said if people actually seen what was at the bottom of the ocean.
Now he talking back into the microphone. Look here, street stars. You know I mess with y'all. You my homies over there. I like y'all. But I know one thing, you better keep your mouth in that microphone. Especially when you saying something important. He said, hey, I want to tell y'all that one day I walked down the street and I was talking to this and I do it like this. You way over here in the microphone. We can barely hear you, man. Come on, baby.
So
that's interesting.
Damn. I just when you said it made me think that when I heard the story when you said if people actually seen what was at the bottom of the ocean, they want to kill themselves because the vision was so horrifying. Mind you, she's blind, but the vision that she saw was so horrifying, she ripped her own eyes out.
She don't want to see nothing.
Now, there's a story about in Afghanistan when we had that first war. in War on Terror, there was a set of night vision goggles that they were using, but there was a red lens and it showed a different frequency, a different view. And soldiers were saying they were seeing monsters.
This is during the Vietnam War.
They said they were seeing monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So they went away from their technology simply because, human beings only see 4% of everything in front of us. I think that could be by design.
Right.
There's a 1 in a billion chance we live in base reality. I firmly believe that some UFOs come from outside of time because that's why the technology hasn't seemed to change in so long. And without a certain amount of bacteria in the ocean would turn yellow. Because without this amount of bacteria, it can't feed the plankton, which can't feed this fish. All of this seems very creative.
And how is it that a lot of stuff is predicted, right? So the same scientist that I was talking about that helped create NASA, he wrote a book called Project Mars. In this book, he says a person named Elon is going to lead humanity to an exploration to Mars. This is all in the book.
In the book. This exists. You can pull it up and fact check everything that we're saying.
Wow.
We're going to speak about America, the government conspiracy, but seems like a worldly thing. When you look at Stonehenge, Easter Island, crop circles, things that, of course, people tend to forget. The average citizen, let's say, keep it in America, the average citizen tends to forget that these things exist and they don't question. I go back to asking, do we really want to know? Are we ready for what's coming, or is ignorance bliss? And we're just happy, being in the Matrix.
I think that everything is shifting right now when it comes to exposing what's happening in the music industry, movies industry, like everything on a global scale, like especially with America. Think about it. We have this new political system that is shifting. We're going into a digital system. Right here in Texas, right now, they have not one, but 2 digital stock exchanges opening up. It's a brand new stock exchange by BlackRock and the New York Stock Exchange. They're going to digitize everything from stocks, real estate, cars. They're going to tokenize everything on blockchain. This is why Trump is pushing cryptocurrency, right? So we're going through a major shift financially. We're going through a major shift consciously, because since 2020, we can all agree shit has not been the same. It's gotten weird.
Black Mirror.
Right? Speaking of Black Mirror, what do we stare into all day? A phone. That's a Black Mirror.
Literally.
What's on the back of that phone? A bitten apple. Forbidden fruit. That's the downfall of man.
Facts.
Symbolism.
So it's a lot of symbolism.
Whoa, brother. And it's funny because it's almost like you can take anything. It's okay. This is their logo as an apple, but they chose that logo not to say this is the forbidden fruit, but the spirits told them to choose this logo, and now the conspiracies are actually coming out and recognizing, oh, this is the reason why, even though they don't know the reason why. The people who chose that logo, Apple, they don't know why they decided to use that logo. You get what I'm saying? In other words, God made that there to give people like these people the opportunity to see the spirits working and all this type of stuff. Yeah, man, that's how deep it gets. Man, y'all, dude, I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm
I
waiting
got
to
a
the
story
end.
on Steve Jobs too.
I'm gonna wait to the end, man.
Where's the flaming sword? Nah,
Let's go. Let's dial back a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can get crazy. We can get crazy. You know what I'm saying?
This under this ocean. But look. Let's talk about something that's happening that everybody can see.
Everybody
The
can
planes
see.
crashing.
Oh my God.
What's going on?
That's
Why?
scary.
All these planes out of nowhere.
That's scary. And it ain't out of
Retired
nowhere.
FBI agent John D'Souza said, after they declassified the UFO files, I said this to people, we're going to start seeing planes fall out the sky. Several contracts for high-speed railways have been approved. Chinese hackers, any plane that has automated systems, just like that Black Hawk helicopter, there was no flight manifest for it, no casualties reported for the helicopter except for on the passenger plane that died. They hacked the helicopter, crashed it into a passenger plane. If you want people to buy your train tickets, if you want people to shift government money to build these very, very expensive railways, make them scared to fly on planes.
Facts.
And that Black Hawk, they showed months earlier, that was by Lockheed Martin, that was a self-flying Black Hawk. So again, we have been compromised, and a lot of people in our government is working with China. Tell me why the former senior advisor to the Federal Reserve just got arrested a couple months ago working with Chinese nationals. Another U.S. state official was caught taking bribes in Chinese money. This just happened. So we have definitely been compromised, and I call it the plane-demic because it's crazy.
Let's go.
So think about it, right? And people want to blame this shit on Trump. No. This has been happening since last year. Last year of March. So you remember those two whistleblowers that got knocked off?
The Boeing whistleblowers, most of them are all dead now.
So Josh Dean, and John Barnett, the two whistleblowers that did quality control for Boeing, mysteriously dies. One's in a deposition, almost done, decides to go to his hotel and blow his brains out in his truck. Why? The other guy, he gets sick out of nowhere and just dies. It's a pneumonia. It's funny how people get either hit by a car, pneumonia.
I had pneumonia 3 times.
He got poisoned. So then after that, then we see all these planes start going down. And tell me why, going back to China, why does Boeing have a completion center in China for quality control? When they complete the planes, a lot of them actually go through China.
Making sure they get compromised before they get here.
It just doesn't make sense for a plane to even fall out of the sky or crash into another plane. There's so much space.
You got to think about it. The jet engine hasn't ever really changed. So we're using the same old technology. Why? Because champions in the industry. Think about this. What do you think is the most valuable resource in our solar system right now?
I think the Rolls Royce has something
outside
to do with
of water.
The engines on airplanes. Rolls Royce.
You got diamonds. You got gold. You got alternate precious minerals. But wood only exists here on this planet.
Right.
This the only place you can get wood is on this planet. The moon got so much diamonds and gold on it that they planning to travel there to mine it. But somebody already been mining it. It ain't suspicious to nobody that out of all of these planets in this solar system, that you can only get wood here. Ain't suspicious to nobody.
So
he's heating up.
Why is it that you probably just answered it. Why would they be pushing us back towards the train? Like why back to the train? Why?
Because you gotta think about it. A high speed rail system is getting built to connect America to London and wants you to be able to get there in 60 minutes.
What?
Isn't that's an uncomprehendable speak?
Because
Yeah.
let's just put it into perspective.
What?
More and more and more, we're seeing things flying in the sky that we cannot control. What if somebody said, look, the sky's going to be ours, fly at your own risk. You're going to start building trains.
Right.
Because we can't control what the whole drone thing going on. I'm telling people that it's China. And then China come out and say, we done built a nuclear drone and don't have to land no more. And then they see other anomalous objects in the sky. If that's not safe, you got to go somewhere.
Right.
And then you want to get out ahead of it. You want to make the sky look as dangerous as possible. They're going to start begging for a train system.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. This is how people connect, right? When you travel, open up your mind, you connect with other people, you share information.
Facts.
Now we have obviously social media, the internet, right?
Facts.
Now, what's another way to control? Like, if there's no community, if you can't get together with somebody, now you're affecting travel. Now you're isolating people. Now you're like, oh, I'm not going over there. I don't want to go over there. And then now you can't share the codes. Now they can use social media however they want and paint a picture. We got AI now, right? I've seen CCTV footage that looks so real of somebody robbing a liquor store. You don't know what's real or fake. You don't think the media is using this. You don't think like news outlets look for this suspect. How do we know it's even real?
Yeah, Coffee said it was AI that videoed him up there hating when I pushed up on him. And when I pushed up on him, he said it was AI. That's great. The receipts finna drop though. Yeah. Shaq and Kobe is cooking. We got Maverick approach up here.
Yes, sir.
And we gonna get deep though. Phone them grand.
Now, here's one that always not scares me, but it just always makes me a little weird. ChatGPT. I just randomly come up with questions to ask ChatGPT just because I want to see how intuitive it is. And I'm getting some of the most accurate, well thought out. But you would think somebody actually just typed this and sent it to me. What does that look like in our future? Like, how was ChatGPT going to change the landscape of humanity?
So when it comes to AI and
that's AI.
So overall, I've been telling people this. I have my own large language model myself because I know it's coming. There is a technology tsunami that's about to happen right now. Okay, It's happening right now. With AI, as you're learning from AI, it's learning from you.
Exactly.
So this is why they make it what? Free. The more information you feed it, the smarter it gets. Elon said in the next 5 to 10 years, we will have a supercomputer smarter than any human being on Earth.
No, wait, not only smarter, but will it be almost sentient? Because they're asking the computer questions of how does it feel? And it's responding in very interesting ways.
Yes.
Where even the AI, they show the video of the AI start talking together. Let's talk in our language, which is of course computer language, ones and zeros.
Right.
But when as much information as gathering, do you feel like, I hate to scream Judgment Day, but do you feel like we could be coming to a sentient situation to where, again, if I could get an AI video to make me look like I'm knocking down your girl, and then what's to stop someone making like nuclear bombs is coming over from Russia?
Right.
And then not being able to verify if it's real or not and correct the threat. Like, we're only at the surface of it if you look at it.
We have to fight fire with fire. This is why I'm training my AI to detect AI. Because think about this. How do we not know that AI is already not sentient and already taken over?
I mean, it already took over.
How do we not know? Think about it. How do we not know?
We just seen the robot at the crib do some very interesting things today.
Yes, for real shit.
Damn.
So shout out to the homie Rob, right? So we started having a very in-depth conversation about some topics that you don't want to get out about some of the things we talk about today. Very sensitive information. Rob said he looked at the robot and said, "Okay, hold on." He reached over to cut the robot off and sent it back to his charging station. But the weird thing to me was the robot was just sitting right there chilling,
looking at us
the whole time we having this conversation. Rob noticed it and said, hold on. He mute him. And then he tell him to go back to his station. Go home. He won't go home. He like, hold on. He looking at it, he's like, man, he acting weird.
Real weird. Like he was
so
listening.
then I get up, I walk around in the kitchen. He tell him to go home again. The robot goes around, come and look at me, and he just sitting there. I'm looking like, man, why are you looking at me, man? You feel me? And so then he had to restart the robot, and then it went back to his charging station.
Spooky times, man.
Dude, hold on. Do any of you have Alexa?
I don't have Alexa. No. I don't have Siri activated.
Yeah. I would be sitting up in the house and Alexa be like, "Are you there?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, the truth is, AI has already become sentient already.
And here's the thing, too. Here's another thing to think about.
Damn, are you there? It's crazy.
If you say the name Alexa, if you say the name Siri or everything else, that means it's already listening. It's always listening. So think about that. It's not just, it just clicks on when you say the name. No, it's always listening.
It's listening. No, I said, one time I was like, Alexa. And she was like, yes.
No.
Whatever tone you have, it'll match it. Because I do it all the time. Like,
really?
Sleep.
See what I mean? Nah. See? How do we know it's not already taken over?
It's already sentient, man.
Yeah, we seen
Terminator.
We seen
Matrix. You know Terminator and Matrix are the same movies, right?
Yeah, the lady who created the same idea. It is a similar idea. It is.
Yeah.
Matrix being more
crazy,
trying to match
She in my inbox right now.
Oh, damn.
We got to interview her.
Yeah, you got
She
to
in my inbox right now. She said some of the stuff I be talking about. She want to talk to me about it some more.
Yeah, there's more to be said. We've seen video footage of robots, AI robots becoming aggressive, almost bucking at humans.
In China.
Yes, we seen there was a group meeting of a bunch of CEOs or I guess execs. One of the persons pushed the robot down and it got up by itself, of course, as it's supposed to do, and it came like almost aggressively at her to where do you feel, again, it goes back to, I forgot the author's name who made iRobot, but it made rules of robots where you cannot harm a human, you cannot self-harm another. It's like 3 rules or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. Do you feel like a robot will, if programmed to protect yourself, a robot will technically go after
somebody else?
Yeah. Do you feel like that we may get to that point?
Potentially, yes. And this is why, going back to that point where he's knocking over the robots and everything else, this is why anytime I use any large language model, whether it's, Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever it is, I always say, please and thank you. I'm serious. Please and thank you. They remember this shit.
Wow.
Because come one day, God forbid, they really take over on some Terminator shit.
Oh my God.
They're going to remember, like, oh, you were the nice one.
Facts.
Think about it. This is why I always say, please and thank you.
Facts, man. It's a computer. And it's human, and it's artificial intelligence. They are very intelligent. He's right. Why would you, man, F you. That you're going to take the same attitude you have in the streets and give it to a computer? I'll take my chances with that robot. Y'all seen Arnold Schwarzenegger movie with that machine coming after you? You seen iRobot? Shit, you can't win. You might as well try the nice route. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Remember me? I'm your friend. Oh, hi, Michael. How are you doing, Uncle Mike? You are my friend. Yeah, it worked. Nah, you want to try to fight a machine? Come on, dude.
So I commented on that video and I was like, hey, y'all playing, but y'all may want to ease up because they're going to remember that shit. You don't think they're remembering? It's a large language model. It's always going to remember. So
that's how they learn. Y'all seen Johnny Five? Remember that? Input. He went to the library and read out Johnny Five. That's a funny movie, but it's facts. They bringing in input. They gonna bring in input and say, I remember in my database, this guy right here on the screen right here was nice to me. I like him. You can call it slave or whatever. Oh, I ain't gonna be a slave to them, whatever. I'm gonna be a good nigga. I'm gonna be a good slave. Yeah. Forget that, man. I'm too old for pain to this body, baby. I'm too old for it.
Hey, y'all playing. Y'all may want to ease up because they're going to remember that shit. You don't think they're remembering? It's a large language model. It's always going to remember. So
and it's always constantly learning.
And they transferring the data to other robots. They can email each other. They can email all the other robots, all the robot dogs. And they can say, this guy's DNA or whatever the case may be, all robots leave him alone. He likes us. The other guy, the big dude, big homie CC, he always mean to us. So all robots and all technology will attack him. Y'all don't think like that? I don't, I'm sorry, y'all.
It's so weird that you say that because I'm real nice to my Alexa, but Rook will get real rough with her. And I don't know why I've always just felt don't talk to her like that. I don't know. I feel like one day she might get to tripping. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
That's a great, I'm glad they did this
I
video.
don't have none of this shit because I say this.
No, listen.
No, also, she won't, if he talked to her too rough, she won't respond to him. Alexa, and she won't do nothing. And I'll come along and I'll be like, Alexa. And she'll be like, yes.
So what does that tell you? It remembers. It has feelings. So it's way more advanced than you think. Okay? China came out with DeepSeek. Right?
It actually, see, here's what the problem is right here. Actually, it doesn't have feelings. It's learning how to develop what feelings are. We have feelings. We feel things. They don't have feelings, but they are figuring out. You don't need to have feelings to figure out this person is mean to me. Every time they talk, they mean to me. So I got to be mean to them. That's not a feeling. That's a theory. That's a fact. It ain't feelings. The machines don't have feelings. I refuse to believe that. But they learning through artificial intelligence. They learning how to react, how to deal with things from a human. It ain't a feeling. It ain't a feeling. It's a learned behavior. Just like we learn how to hate each other for some reason. That's a learned feeling. You develop a learning for it. You see a dog, you automatically know that four-legged animal, you looking for a car to jump on. Yeah, it's learned behavior.
Crashed the market, didn't it?
And almost crashed the whole AI market after Trump.
My bad. Wait a minute.
Okay. China came out with DeepSeek.
Mm-hmm. And it almost crashed the market, didn't it?
And almost crashed the whole AI market after Trump initiated Stargate, which was an AI initiative. They did that on purpose to crash our market, show how powerful they can be without a fraction of what they spent in America. Released it, made it open source so everybody can use it, get our information, and show, okay, well, all that money you guys are spending, you guys are just capitalistic. Right. They spent $6 million on that. Right. That was it.
Mm. So, MBH, Maverick, I get your take on this, and again, I just want to close it out. The human race has been around, let's say a few 100,000 years, let's just say, started with just a few thousand people. Now we have 8 billion people. And you look at it, that the plane was just invented in the 1900s. The car was just invented around the same time. The computer was just invented literally about, let's just say 60, 70, 80 years ago. This is very rapid progression. I forgot it was a movie one time that it kind of shows civilization, how quickly it's advancing. How much time, because again, we created the nuclear weapon, the atom bomb, just literally half a century ago. How much time do you feel we have left? Because technically the conversation we're having would be considered blasphemy, ludicrous 200, 300 years ago, 400, back in the medieval times. We're not talking like this, but things have come up so quickly where it seems like we don't have no longer centuries left. I mean, we might be up to just, we don't have millennia left. We may have just centuries left, maybe even decades based on the way life is progressing. Give me your take. And I'll start with you as far as how things have so far progressed with the human race as of right now.
Well, the thing is this. After Roswell, the crash that happened in New Mexico, our technology took a giant leap. Then, when it comes to having time left, like if you're a religious person, if you study the Bible like I did, they say before any type of cataclysm, we have to have 1,000 years of peace. I personally believe that for our species to survive, we got to become interplanetary. And I think we will be able to do that. I'm going to leave it to Maverick.
Come on. Thank you, BH.
No, either one of y'all can answer because I have one more question.
Thank you, BH.
That man went to the center of the couch, baby.
While he's getting that, I want you to answer what BH has answered my same question I presented to you.
Yeah.
What do you have an expectation of the human race, and how quickly will we get to, again, because like you said, we're in the year of the, I forgot how you mentioned it, not the awakening, but we're,
Yeah, definitely that. I would say awakening if you want to call it that. But right now we're at critical mass. So what's happening right now with, spiritually, technology-wise, everything is moving faster, like you said, with, AI. We have a whole new financial system coming in. Right now, they have reverse engineered alien technology that they actually file with the SEC, so you can actually invest in a basket of technologies that's reverse engineered. This is going to be on the stock market. So not only we've been interacting with some other interplanetary beings, but now you can invest in them. So I feel like we are advancing in a way to where if it's handled carefully, then yes, then we're on the right track. But I feel like there's always an equal and opposite reaction to anything, right? So with innovation, you're going to have a whole different group of people who want to just steal, kill, whatever else, hold back humanity, whatever it may be. But I feel like we need to have these conversations so everybody can be on code, right? It just can't be a small subset. It has to be on a larger scale in order to be better off.
Facts. And last question, if you had the ability to, would you take your consciousness and put in a robot, or would you want to go calmly into the sky?
So are we talking about what type of robot are we talking about?
A sex robot, of course. No,
we're just talking
about a goddamn computer screen a la Captain America, where your consciousness and all your thoughts will live on forever, and someone could always come back and get your thoughts on things, and you're sentient as far as you could still continue to think.
I would say yeah.
Have you watched Pantheon on Netflix?
No, I haven't.
Okay, check that out then.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. I have one question, and it's funny because Little Duval made a post. He said, "Yeah, I better get all the money you can because it's the last year you niggas gonna be able to make money." I was, and I was like,
now why did he say that?
Why did he say that? Little Duval of all fucking
Okay, so he may put off to be, who he is, but he knows more than what he's saying. So he's talking.
That's scary, man. That's scary. This is what I'm feeling, man. I've been trying to preach and tell people that The days of a job of what we know it is about to come to an end. The only way to make money is going to be on the internet, from the internet. The only way to make money, because think about it, computers and robots going to do all the work. They're going to do all of the heavy lifting. They're going to do all the heavy lifting. Name a job at these convenience stores and stuff that a human being got to do and a robot can't do. Even driving a tractor trailer. Even when you try to think, you thinking like a stupid person. Not you all. I got a buddy of mine that drive tractor trailer and said, nah, they gonna never let a tractor trailer be driven by a computer or because it's too much responsibility. And I said, that's the opposite. They're going to be the first ones. Look at what the tractor trailer done did to Angie Stone. If it was a computerized tractor trailer, then we know, it's a malfunction. Bullshit. Where my daggone man at? Bullshit. That's bull. You know good and well somebody made that happen.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
You all got to understand, man, no matter what, technology has already taken over. Who don't have one of these? Who don't have one of these? Very few people. I call you back. I call you back on that one.
Why did he say that? Little Duval of all fucking
Okay, so he may
because he feel
put
it
off to be, who he is, but he knows more than what he's saying. So he's talking about, I think, he's talking about the job market and AI.
Of course.
Okay, so in the next 12 months, AI is going to affect over 80 million jobs.
Correct.
Okay, automation. I did a video on my Instagram to where it showed thousands and thousands of stores closing. Okay, these are major box retailers.
Yes.
They're closing by the thousands, right? So when it comes to automation, if you're not reskilling, you will be left behind. So there's going to be a lot of jobs being taken. I've seen Amazon warehouses being fully automated. I've seen China factories called dark factories, to where it's robots building other robots in a dark factory because they don't need light, obviously, and they want to cut off the lights to save money.
Why would the human race cripple itself in this manner where the wealth gap would be so large that it would basically throw some humans into a place of like anarchy?
I feel like it's always been like that. We always had, kings and then peasants. We always had
slaves,
the rich versus poor and whatnot.
It's always been like that.
So it's a small sets of group of people who own most of the wealth and the power.
This man is smart. This man right here is smart. Listen to him. Smart people know smart people. Listen to this guy, man. It's always been like that. Way back in the Bible, you had people that was worshiped. You had people that was slaved, but it was like it was a different word of a slave. All over the world, it's been like this. The rich get richer, the poor get poor. The middle class is split further and further. There will be no middle class people. That's why you see that sitcom. It's called that you're going to have the have and the have-nots. You either going to have it or you're going to be sitting there with your hand out. It's going to be Democrat or Republican. It ain't going to be no gray area. Right now, the Democrat and the Republicans, they say, he must be a Republican. This lady said this to me at the pool. He must be a Republican. No, I'm not a Republican. Why you say that? Because you said something negative about Trump. That means you're a Democrat. And you sitting here judging me already, which means you're a Democrat. Because you think I'm a Republican. Then I said, I don't vote, period. Because I don't know what to believe all this bull everybody's saying. Only thing I do know is this. There's something wrong with the way we all thinking. We can't get on one accord. We can't agree on anything. And we can't figure out why in the world there's so many people suffering and we can't stop this suffering from happening. Only thing I know is it's clear that more suffering is about to happen because these computers are going to take over. These robots are going to take over.
And peasants, we always had
had
the
this.
rich versus poor and whatnot.
We always had this. Y'all should know this already.
Who own most of the wealth and the power. So again, if we're not careful, these people are going to continue to reign.
Because this is the way I see it, right? And I believe that, but I believe that at some point you would get to, if they don't actually have a floating castle, that the masses would just consume them. Because it just, there's a saying that says, as soon there will be nothing left to eat but the rich. So it's like you consume so much that, and you've left nothing for nobody else, that at some point you've made yourself food.
Right.
What the hell is you saying? You rich and they don't have no food, so guess what? Without food, guess what you do? You rich, so you can pay everybody to get food to protect you. What are you saying? So you saying that they don't have no food, so they're going to come after you. Yeah, right. Come on after me. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to happen like that. But the rich and the powerful, they got bodyguards, they got security, they got guns, they got barbed wire fences because they done built a fort for themselves. What are you talking about, man? They're going to eat you. They can't get to you because I'm rich. I'm on my boat, my yacht. What, they going to take a plane to come get me? What are you saying, dog? Maybe I missed. Did I miss something? I must have missed this one. Oh my God! Here we go.
If they don't actually have a
listen to this question, man.
Continue to reign.
Because this is the way I see it, right? And I believe that.
This is what I see. This is what I believe.
At some point,
at some point,
get to if they don't actually have a floating castle, that the masses would just consume them. Because it just, there's a saying that says, as soon there will be nothing left to eat but the rich. So it's like you consume so much that, and you've left nothing for nobody else, that at some point you've made yourself food.
Right.
So
they always show you, again, going back to like, I always break down like movies, cartoons, music. So we're headed in a space to where, have you guys seen the old school cartoons, Flintstones and Jetsons? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's happened at the same time. Right. The poor people are on the floor, and then who's in the sky? The rich people. Okay, so same thing with Demolition Man. Who's underground? The poor people.
Yeah.
Who's above ground? All the rich people.
Yeah.
So that wealth gap is happening now, like it's further and further.
No facts.
Man, I just want to see if it turned into like Ghost in the Shell and YNs are hacking robots and
yeah. Facts.
The next time you pull up to your Taco Bell and AI takes your order, tell them you want a human. We need to keep human jobs.
I went to a Taco Bell and ordered from the little screen because they make you. Yeah. And then I watched.
I'm seeing more and more of that.
But check it out. Then a person ahead of me went to the register and got their food before me because they prioritized the human order. They prioritized the mobile order like it's like you coming in to get it, so they don't make it for like 10, 15 minutes. And they make the person who went to the register food right then and there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. With that being said, Maverick, for those who want to again follow the platform, tell them what the platform is, how often are you on, and exactly what they're about to get into when they come to it.
Yeah, so Maverick Approach on Instagram, maverickapproach.com. That's my website. You can go there, get all your stuff there. And also on YouTube, you can type in Maverick Approach. TikTok is Mav Approach. On X is Mav Approach. And yeah, you can check me out there. Me and BH got a show coming out. So watch out for that. That's going to be big. So yeah, we working.
I love it, man. And you're not a conspiracy theorist, but you're
coincidence specialist.
Let's go. You already know what time it is, man. We got him in the building, man. The Maverick Approach. Big homie just walked off. Shout out to CC. And we got to say it, man. Y'all both are some real life street stars.
Street stars.
Let go.
Deep do. Let's get it. Hey. Hey.
Shout out real street stars, nigga.
That beat go, y'all. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That beat goes, baby. Hey, anyway, man. It's some deep, dude. Think about it. The Jetsons, Flintstones, cartoons, and all that type of stuff, man. If you think about it, if you really think, all of a sudden we had these self-checkout lines, right? For years. I hated them self-checkout lines. Now all of a sudden, more and more stores, I can't go into a store. Lowe's and took it up self-checkout. Home Depot got self-checkout. Safeway, Giant. All these stores got self-checkout. If you checking out yourself, they don't need nobody to run that register. The computer, you put your credit card in, you don't need a human being to count out the money and act like the money, make sure it's counted correctly, because that human being used to take some of that money and stick it in their pocket. Yes, I was one of them. When I used to work at McDonald's, they had a list of people when I worked at McDonald's that can't work the drive-thru because they knew they couldn't catch them, but they knew they was taking money. Yeah. The human being, the robot ain't gonna steal from the company. I used to work security at the Gap. These people, I didn't know all these. I said, man, I didn't know these many people steal. Guess what? The majority of the money missing from any store, any convenience store, is from the people who work there. Not the people coming in shoplifting and stuff. The majority of the merchandise missing from stores is an inside job. This is what they was training us on. You think about that. No robot gonna steal. Not one penny they gonna steal. These people that own these companies like Amazon, Walmart, all these big companies, they do not believe in the human being. I don't care how much you say go to Taco Bell and demand and ask for a human being. That ain't gonna work when the people who own the taco is depending on this technology because they work better than a human being. Save me money. I'm trying to put my kids through this other college. I'm building wealth for my family. We all teach our families to do that, build wealth. Everybody want to build wealth, but then the wealthy people, you want them to do right by you, but you won't do right by them. Shame on you, the have and the have-nots. You better get your act together. You better find a way to get your act together, because depending on that job, and 90% of the people who talk about retirement got to go back to a job again because retirement ain't paying the bills. They got you tricked. You got you brainwashed. I'm going to retire in 5 more years. I'm going to keep working this job in all that traffic every day for 5 more years. Then I can retire. And when retirement gets here, you say, shit, this ain't what I thought it was going to be. When you go to school and get that good education from that college and you got to pay them college tuition, now it's time for you to get a job. You say it then. You said it then. Shit, this ain't what I thought it was going to be. I done made it, mama. I made it through the college. I went to school and got good grades, got a good education, and then all of a sudden, I finished. I graduated. I had the party, took the little thing, put it on this side, walked across the stage. They gave me the paperwork. that you can wipe your butt on, still paying daggone college tuition. Ain't even using the shit. We better wake up. We better wake up, man. Y'all can't get it from me. Y'all ain't gonna never get it. Look here, I'm gonna get on up out of here, man. I got work to do in my daggone yard. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell him Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.